Hello and welcome back to Best Bets. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary, joined by Newsday's Joe Manniello. Joe, how you doing?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We finished off Week 17 by picking all the games. I went 7-9 last week to bring my record to 43-57-2. Joe, you went 8-8, which I guess was kind of fitting because you finished 51-50-1.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was 9-7. Did you change it to the Cardinals, or I forget? I didn't look at the.
If you want to opt in that
No,
change,
no, no. It's fine. I'm sure it's right. I just didn't. I thought it was. I thought there was. So I went 8-7-1 in the paper.
gotcha.
And the push was the Cardinals game, so I assume they got that right. But maybe a spread was different. No big deal.
Okay.
So what was the record? 51-50-2.
51-50-1. So
51-50-1.
very close to 500.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely was for me more so. So I'm excited to keep this rolling into the playoffs. So let's jump right into it. We'll start with the first game on Saturday. The Bills and the Texans. Texans are favored by 2.5. Who do you like in this game, Joe?
Yeah, this is my best bet of the week. I don't love any of these games. I guess. I mean, I don't think they're great matchups. I think the Patriots Titans game is a fun one, but as far as best bet, I think the Bills plus 2.5. The golden rule in picking NFL games is if you think the underdog is going to win and you're getting points, how can you not take them as your best bet? So Bills getting 2.5. I think it's a great matchup for Buffalo. Both teams rested starters last week, so that shouldn't be an issue. JJ Watt's coming back, which is good for the Texans. But I think the Bills' defense will be the star of this game. The Texans, they love to throw the ball. They don't really have a running game. And the Bills' biggest strength is their defense, their secondary. Tre'Davious White and the other guys, I think they'll do a great job. Sean McDermott, as we've discussed, I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. And he's basically known the Texans were going to be the opponent, I think, for like 2-3 weeks now. There was a chance, I guess, they could have been the 3 seed and the Bills could have won the East, but the Bills have been locked into the 5 seed for what feels like forever. So I think they'll have a pretty good game plan for Watson. The Texans aren't a lock in these games. They lost last year by 14 at home to the Colts. I'm not crazy about the Texans. I think they're semi-overrated as a team. Some like the AFC Seahawks or AFC Packers. They're a good team with a really good quarterback. But, they lose some games. They could have gone 7-9. You saw what the Broncos did to them a few weeks ago. Drew Lock looked like John Elway. So I think Josh Allen, it's his first playoff start. But I don't think many people know this. I wrote in my column. I looked it up just to make sure. Josh Allen, he has the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL by a quarterback. 9. Two more than Lamar Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Two more than Deshaun Watson. And, I mean, they need to run him more. I feel like he's an okay thrower. Like a lot of overthrows and a little inaccurate, but when he gets out of the pocket and 10-yard gains, I think that changes everything for the approach and put the defense on its heels. And the Texans' pass defense is they allow the fourth most passing yards. The Bills' defense allows the 4th fewest passing yards. So I think the Bills' secondary and the Texans' secondary are the reason why I like the Bills in this game. I think it'll be a close game because the Bills don't score a ton of points. I'll go Bills 23-17. I think John Brown, Cole Beasley get open, make plays. I think Josh Allen gets a rushing touchdown. And I think the Texans fall short again at home. So Bills, best bet, plus 2.5.
Wow. Okay. You did a lot of convincing, and that's not so great for me because I was on the fence with this one. I went back and forth for a very long time over this game, but I ended up going with the Texans minus 2.5 because I think this is a field goal game. And I think that the Texans at home should theoretically have the edge. Now, like you said, the Bills defensively are really good, and they've had a lot of time to prepare for the Texans. But part of me would be really surprised if they laid an egg at home for the second year in a row. I think they're going to be a motivated team, and having J.J. Watt coming back, I think, is going to be a big, more so motivational thing than actually making a big difference on the field. I think it's a low-scoring game, like you said. I'm going to pick this one 20-17, so just a very slight cover for the Texans. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills won this game. This was, I think, the hardest one for me to pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I figured you take the Texans because you picked them a lot.
Yeah, I'm ride or die on the Texans, and it's bitten me in the butt a few times, so I wouldn't be shocked if it did it again here in the Wildcard Weekend. That's for sure.
It should be a close game.
Yeah, it should definitely be. And then for Saturday night matchup, it's the Patriots and the Titans. Pats are favored by 4.5. Who do you like here?
Yeah, when this line first posted, my first thought was to take the Titans because of what happened last week. The Patriots lose at home as a 16.5 point favorite against the Dolphins, and Titans won at Houston, even though Houston was resting starters. And the Titans, they have a ton of offensive players. They got a lot of mojo going, and my first thought was, I think the Titans and Patriots are done. But luckily, you don't make picks Sunday night or Monday night. The more I thought about it, it's just I like the Patriots a lot, actually. They're only giving 4.5 in this game, so you're getting a lot of value. If the Patriots had won last week, obviously they'd be the 2 seed. But let's just say they were going to be the 3 seed. So if they had beaten the Dolphins by 10 or 14, and they were already locked into the 3 seed, this spread would be closer to 7, 6.5 or 7. So all this Patriots bashing and people thinking the Titans are this Cinderella team, you're getting like 2 extra points with the Patriots. Now the offense isn't that great. Like, they're definitely limited without Gronk. Edelman's a little banged up. They don't have that true number 1 receiver. Edelman's great and all, but he's more of a slot guy who's like, he's not like Randy Moss, obviously. So their offense is limited. So the Titans are the kind of team they're going to need to put up 24 points, I think, to win this game. But I just like the Patriots. I think Stephon Gilmore, he had a really bad game last week.
Right.
Probably the defensive player of the year or top 2 guy. I think he'll bounce back against talented A.J. Brown. I think the Vrabel thing is interesting. Former player there, won Super Bowls against Belichick. They actually beat them last year in Tennessee. The Titans beat the Pats 34-10, and that was when the Pats had a better offense, and Mariota was that quarterback. And now they got Tannehill, who's 7-3 as a starter. So there's definitely reasons to like the Titans. But he's 0-6 at Gillette Stadium when he was with the Dolphins. I know different teams, but that's got to play into his psyche a little bit. And this is just the same storyline as last year, but even more dramatic. Last year, everyone was saying Tom Brady loved the idea of everyone was doubting them. I picked against them all three rounds: divisional, championship game, and Super Bowl, and they won and covered every round. Remember what they did against the Chargers last year? Everyone was picking the Chargers last year.
I was on it too.
And that game was like 24-0 before you had your lunch. It was just crazy. So I just think that it's a similar situation. Everyone's on the Titans, and they're gonna go in there and be like, "Oh wait, Titans they're okay. They're not this great team," and it'll be 10-0 Pats, and then they'll grind out another win. So I like the Pats laying 4.5. Like I said, it's great value. And I just looked up this great stat. I was wondering, like, when's the last time they lost 2 games in a row at home, because they win 12, 13 games a year.
Right.
I kept going back, so I Google. This is how I look up stats when I do my column. I Google, 2019 Patriots schedule, and then you go ESPN, and then you go back, and you can click on each year, so you go back and back and back. It took me like 5 minutes. 2006 was the last time they lost 2 games in a row at home. 2006. So that doesn't mean that they can't lose. The same way you said the Texans aren't going to lose 2 years in a row. Of course they can. The Pats can lose this week. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost. I think the safer, smarter play is the Pats at home. Brady, Belichick. The history shows you that they'll bounce back. So I think it's like a 27-20 kind of game. Pats by 7, so I'll lay the 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is actually my best bet, is the Pats minus 4.5 for a lot of the same reasons that you were saying. But the fact that everyone is now doubting the Patriots, I feel like they thrive off of this. They look to be the underdog. The team that's been the best over the last 20 years thrives the most when they're in the underdog role, which is very strange. But nonetheless, everyone seems to be doubting them, especially after that terrible loss in Week 17 to the Dolphins. I think they're able to win this game by at least a touchdown. I'm going to say probably, I'll go 27-17 Patriots win. I think that obviously Ryan Tannehill's been a really nice story this year, but I don't know if I could trust him going on the road to New England. Like you said, Gillette's a tough place to play. They don't lose at home very often, and especially in the playoffs too. So I'm really pretty confident in the Patriots this week. Now, the divisional round against the Chiefs is a whole nother story, but this week against the Tennessee Titans, I don't see them losing this game.
Yeah, gotcha. I thought you might take the Titans, but everyone seems to be taking the Titans.
If the spread was a little bit higher, I think I would have went with it. But honestly, the Patriots, I think they're going to have a really nice a bounce back week and win this game by at least 10 points.
Yeah.
How about for the first game on Sunday, Joe? The Vikings and the Saints. Saints are favored by 8.
Yeah, I feel like this is the least exciting of the 4 games. I don't feel like this is going to be a close game. As I wrote in my column, this would be the game where you could not convince me to take the Vikings. You could not convince me to take the opposite team that I'm taking. I love the Saints minus 8. It's a little bit high in the line because the Vikings lost. They lost to the Packers, and they have some injuries, and they lost the last 2 games at the end of the year. And Kirk Cousins. So I think the line might be a couple points too high. Maybe like it should be a 6.5 or 7, but it's not that big a deal where I'm not going to take the Saints. I think they'll win by 10, at least 10, maybe even 14. I don't even think it's a big deal about the whole mini miracle revenge thing from 2 years ago. I just think the Saints. I mean, they're 13-3. They probably should have been a 2 seed. It's just the way it worked out. The Packers got the 2 seed, also 13-3. The Niners are 13-3. So it's very rare that a 13-3 team has to play in Wildcard Weekend. I think Sean Payton's team will, use that as a bigger, the chip on their shoulder will get bigger. They have a lot of edge after the last 2 years. What happened with the Rams game last year in the championship game? I think the team looks like it's on a mission, sort of. I know it's cliche, but they averaged 40 points in their final 4 games of the year in December. They scored 160 points over the last month, so 40 points a game. Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. You know about all their weapons. Their defense is really good. Kirk Cousins only played in 1 playoff game. He's 0-1, and he's 10 games under as a starter on the road. So I don't trust him in the big spot. So I like the Saints a lot in this game. I think it actually can get out of hand if the Saints go up 14-0 early. But I think the first quarter will tell you how this game's going to play out. So I like the Saints big 41-27.
Okay. I think the Saints win this game, but I don't think they're going to cover the 8-point spread. I think that number's too big. If it was like you said, maybe closer to 6, then I'd probably be with you on the Saints. But I think this is going to be a tighter game. I don't trust Kirk Cousins to go on the road and win the game, but I think they are talented enough and their defense is good enough to keep it tight for a majority of the way. I think it's a 1-score game. I'm going to go, I'll say 30-24, so a 6-point win for the Saints. So I don't think that they cover. I do think that they advance. I don't know how I'm going to convince you on that, but because you were pretty adamant about the Saints -8, but I'm going with the Vikings +8 this week.
Yeah, man, I think the only way I can see them covering is if it's like, Saints by 14 and then they score a late touchdown in the fourth quarter. But I can't see it being like a, 21-17 game in the fourth quarter. I just don't see it.
All right. Absolutely. So,
no, I mean, it's playoffs. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. And it kind of bit me in the butt. You were right last week. I went with the Panthers and the points against the Saints, and that didn't go so well. So I'm hoping for a little bit better luck this go round. How about for the final game of the week, the Seahawks and the Eagles? Seahawks are favored by 2.
Yeah, so Seahawks -2. The Eagles actually opened -3, and that line changed so fast. I think that plays into my picking for the Eagles. I'm taking the points with the Eagles. I think they win the game. They've been bad all year, basically. They were 5-7. They lost to Miami. But then, just like last year, they won down the stretch. They won 4 games in a row to make the playoffs. And I just think the problem with the Seahawks is that a lot of people who don't like, I'm not trying to sound like an NFL snob, but I watched all these games, Red Zone, I'm all in with the column. A hardcore fan like yourself, anyone who plays fantasy football, anyone who's like really watching these games, I think knows that the Seahawks are not a juggernaut. I mean, if you look at their season, they finished 11-5. And they only had a +7 point differential, so that tells you they're playing a ton of close games. 9 of their wins are by 7 or fewer points. Some of them are by 1 or 2 points. So they easily could have won 7-9. If you look at their games, they could have lost week 1 at home against the Bengals. They could have lost to the Steelers. They could have lost to the Browns. The first 49ers game, they could have lost so many games. But they have Russell Wilson. People see him, and they say, oh, wow, Seahawks are great. So I don't think they're like a shoe-in to win this game at all. I think it'll be a close game. They won at Philadelphia in week 12, I think it was, 17-9. But even in that game, it was a close game. They needed a flea flicker touchdown pass as one of their touchdowns. And the Eagles were so banged up in that game. And now the Seahawks are banged up. And they have no running back. And they got Marshawn Lynch back, but I don't think he's going to do much. The offensive line is hurting. And the Eagles, similar to the past, the underdog role, they wore the dog masks a few years ago.
Yep.
I just think that at home, it's a tough place to play. Carson Wentz is making his first playoff start. I think he'll play well. He's been a tremendous I don't know if you saw that great stat on Twitter. He is the first quarterback in NFL history with 4,000 passing yards and not having a receiver over 500 yards, which is incredible. So I think that the way he's playing, and I love Doug Peterson as a coach. I mean, I like Pete Carroll too, but I just think the fact that it's in Philadelphia, and the Seahawks were actually great on the road. I think they were 7-1 or 6-2.
Yep.
I just think that the Seahawks have been overrated all year, and unless Wilson has one of his amazing games, I think the Eagles find a way to grind out like a, 23-20 kind of game. So I'll take the points and go with the home underdog to win outright.
Okay. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this game. I agree that it's going to be close. Actually, I think this is going to be an overtime game. I'm going to take the Seahawks in overtime 23-20. But I just think, like you said, the Seahawks are a really good team on the road. And I know they're banged up. The Eagles are banged up too. I haven't trusted them all year. I started in the preseason. I was high on the Eagles, and I just, for whatever reason, they've disappointed me this year. Only finishing at 9-7, I thought they could have been like a 12-win team. I know injuries and stuff kind of derailed that a little bit, but this Seahawks team, they've been there and done it so many times, and them playing on the road, I think actually helps them because I think they're better on the road than they are at home. I mean, I feel like we talk about every week how they play tight games at home, but on the road they seem to be a little bit more of a better team. Just lost a really tough game to the 49ers in order to be playing in this game to begin with. But I think they win this one, a tight one, like I said, 23-20 in overtime.
Okay. Toss-up game.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a toss-up game. But I wouldn't be stunned if the Eagles won it. I agree with that.
I think the only game I'd be stunned is if the Vikings won. The Texans won, I wouldn't be stunned. I wouldn't be stunned if the Titans won. But or the Seahawks. But I think if the Vikings win, that would be the only result that would really stun me.
Yeah, I'm right. I think I'm with you on that one. So another thing we wanted to do is give a little preview what we think is going to happen for the AFC Championship game, who's going to be playing in it, who wins. Same for the NFC, and then a Super Bowl pick too. So I guess we'll start with the AFC. Joe, who do you think is going to be there, and what do you think the result's going to be?
Yes, I think the Ravens will beat the Bills in the divisional round, and then I think the Pats and Chiefs will play a great game. I think the Chiefs will find a way. The defense has played really well, so I think it will be a Ravens-Chiefs AFC Championship game at Baltimore. And the Chiefs have played really well, so it's tempting to take them and Mahomes. But I think it's been the year of Lamar Jackson, and I think the Chiefs have trouble stopping the run. So I think Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, hopefully Mark Ingram is healthy, I think the Ravens find a way to win like a high-scoring game, like a 38-34 kind of game. So AFC, Ravens 38, Chiefs 34.
Okay, I agree with you that I think it's going to be the Ravens and the Chiefs. For me, I think that it's going to be a really tight game. I think Andy Reid is going to do something he's going to regret in the fourth quarter. There's going to be some kind of meltdown where they do something wrong, a mental mistake, and the Ravens win this game. I'm going to go 31-27 in a really fun and entertaining AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
How about over on the NFC side, Joe?
So the NFC, as you've known, I've been on the 49ers all year. I've been jumped on the bandwagon in like October. I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team, but I just bought into that whole defensive line and the running game, and I think Shanahan's a great coach. But I just think that the more I look at it, the more I thought about it, I think it's going to be the Saints year. So in the NFC Championship game, I have the 49ers after beating the Eagles in the divisional round, and the Saints after winning at Lambeau, which unless it snows, I don't think the Saints will have trouble with the Packers. I think they'll win that game comfortably. So I got Saints Niners in the NFC Championship game in San Fran. It'll be a great game, just like the AFC game. I think the championship games this year have potential to be like all-time great games. Saints Niners, they played that classic 48-46 game a few weeks back, and that was another wild game. It could have went either way. So I think the Saints will find a way to win a similar kind of game. 38-35 kind of game, or 34-31. I don't have the exact score. 34-31 Saints to beat the Niners in the championship game.
I'm going to agree with you again. I also think it's going to be the 49ers and the Saints playing in that game. I, too, agree with the Saints. They were my preseason pick to go and win the Super Bowl. They were my pick last year. I'm really high on this team. I think Drew Brees is due for another one. That offense is really potent, and I think Sean Payton's a great coach. And that's nothing against the 49ers. They're a phenomenal team as well. And like you said, I think this has the potential to be a phenomenal game. I'm going to take the Saints 27-24, a little bit lower scoring than you, but still a really fun NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Niners were going to do it all year, but it's funny that before the year started, I didn't even have the Saints in the playoffs because I just thought that the way they lost to the Rams might carry over and it'll be too much, but it was a silly pick. And I feel bad taking your pick because you picked them before the year, but I'm not going to not pick them just because I don't want to have the same pick as you.
No, I'm right there with you. If you believe it, go with it for sure. How about for the Super Bowl? Who do you like between the Saints and Ravens?
Super Bowl, Saints and Ravens. Be a great game. It's hard to pick against the Ravens with what they've done, but it'll be Lamar Jackson's first Super Bowl. Brees has been there, and I don't know if that's a huge deal, but I just, the whole idea of them, they lost in the divisional round to the Vikings on a crazy play, mini miracle. Next year they lose to the Rams on a non-call that cost them the game. So divisional round, championship game, the super cynical person would say that they're going to lose in the Super Bowl on another crazy play, maybe like a Hail Mary or something like that. The Saints lose on a Hail Mary to the Ravens for the third straight year, and next year they'll win the Super Bowl. But I just think this is their year. It just feels like the way Drew Brees and Michael Thomas are playing, the offense is clicking. Sean Payton, I think they just feel like a team on a mission right now, and I think that as hard as it is it will be to top the Ravens, I just think they'll find a way. So give me the Saints Super Bowl. I'm a big high scoring kind of guy. Saints 34, Ravens 27.
Okay, I'm again in lockstep with you. The Saints, they were my pick before the year. I'm going to stick with them. I really like what the Ravens have done. I mean, Lamar Jackson's proved me wrong. I thought he was going to maybe not take a step back, but struggle a little bit this year, and he's done the exact opposite. He's going to be the league MVP. And they're a very tough offense to stop. I understand that, but I agree that the Saints seem like a team of destiny. I think they win this game 32-28, and it's going to be one of those, all-time Super Bowls, a really fun one, and definitely better than last year because I think that was a little bit of a snooze fest between the Pats and the Rams.
It was awful Super Bowl. But let's try to do something different. Pick a Super Bowl MVP so we don't have the same guy.
Okay, my Super Bowl MVP is going to be I'm going to go Drew Brees.
All right, good. I'll go Michael Thomas.
All right, perfect. So we'll differentiate a little bit on that one.
All right, good. All right, great.
Absolutely. So I'll just do a quick run through, and then we'll get out of here. I am on the Texans -2.5. Joe is on the Bills +2.5. That's his best bet. I am on the Pats -4.5, and that's my best bet. Joe also is on the Pats -4.5. In the Vikings and the Saints game, I like the Vikings +8. Joe likes the Saints -8. And then in the last game of the weekend, the Seahawks and the Eagles, I like the Seahawks -2 on the road, while Joe likes the Eagles +2 at home. Joe, thank you so much, and I look forward to doing this again next week for the divisional round.
Great. Yeah, great, Matt. It's good that we have 3 different picks this week, at least, considering our playoff picks are the same, advanced picks. So at least we differentiate on 3 picks in the games.
Yes, absolutely. We're a little bit different. If it goes based on how the previous 17 weeks went, I'm sure you're probably going to come away with a better record. But
no, not by much.
Nonetheless.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Joe.